Okay, today is going to be another really quick day. There is one formula that we're dealing with, is distance. But you need to understand that this distance formula is being introduced now because now is when you know how to do the square roots. So they can throw it in there now. But it really has to do with the stuff that we did back in chapter 9, way back before Christmas. Because it really has to do with points that are being plotted on a line. That's why the distance formula has all these x's and y's in it. So you've got one point here, x1, y1, another point, x2, y2. When they're giving you 2 points, that means that you can use the distance formula, and this is what it is. Now in your book, they start out by labeling those points, and for number 2, they labeled 1 point R and 1 point T. That's fine. Doesn't matter what they labeled them. What we care about is what the actual coordinates are. So you can forget the labels altogether. At least in this book. Always start by writing the formula because you have to memorize the formula. So until it gets memorized, you need to make sure you write it every single time. Y2. x2 is negative 2 minus, because there's a minus in the formula, x1 is 4, close parentheses squared, plus y2 is 10 minus, because there's a minus in the formula, 2 squared. Negative 2 and negative 4 give me negative 6 squared, plus 10 minus 2 is 8 squared, negative 6 squared is a positive 36, plus 8 squared is 64, which makes D equal to the square root of 100, so D is equal to 10. So the distance between those points is 10 units. If you were to plot them on a piece of graph paper and measure the line in between them, it would end up being 10 units. Over here for number 8. Always start with the formula. x2 in this case is negative 9, minus, because it's in the formula, negative 5 squared, plus y2 is 6, minus, because it's in the formula, 0 squared. Negative 5, sorry, minus and negative, same thing as plus. Negative 9 plus 5 is negative 4 squared, plus 6 squared. Negative 4 squared is 16. 6 squared is 36. 16 plus 36 is 40, 52. You can't leave it like that, and don't you dare stick that in a calculator. Always simplify it. So that means this is 2 times 2 times 13. 2 2's on the inside, 1 on the outside. So that's 2 square roots of 13 for your distance. And that's it. That's all we're doing. Plugging stuff into a formula. Couldn't be any easier. Oh my goodness. Classwork and homework. What? Page 530. Numbers 1, 5, and 9 for the classwork. And then homework, numbers 3, 7, and 11. That's it. Done with chapter 12, which means, before I say something I'm not supposed to say, give me 1 second. Done with chapter 12, which means your review will be next. Then after your review, you'll have your test. Make sure before you take that test that you go back and you look over everything. Make sure you know when you're supposed to check to see if it works or not. Make sure you know how to add, subtract, multiply, take care of division problems with radicals in them, solve equations with radicals in them. Make sure you've memorized the formula for distance. And what'd you do yesterday? Pythagorean theorem. Make sure you've memorized Pythagorean theorem and know how to use it. And I'll see you when we start chapter 13-ish, sort of. 13. Bye!